What's up, everybody? Today I'm talking Valiant Hearts, the Great War Review. Drinking my coffee. Valiant Hearts. Ubisoft's Valiant Hearts. Moi, je dirais que je donne ce jeu peut-être 9 sur 10. This video game came out in 2014, so it's been a while, but it is available on pretty much all platforms, and you can either play it easily on your PS4 like I did, or you can use it on your iPad or your Android on the go. Really not too hard in terms of controls and gameplay, but it's also very interactive. And I like the controls of the game too, because it's really simple and it's multitasking, but not too hard. It's not one of those games where you really have to invest a lot in. It's also quite forgiving about saving, so if you happen to die, you don't have to go way back and start all over again. It actually stops you right where I think it should. So it's very good. Interactive entertainment, or in some sense, a history lesson and historical entertainment. It really made me want to learn history again. So fair warning that this is a spoiler-filled review. If you haven't played Valiant Hearts, play it and come back afterwards. For the record, Valiant Hearts is not a very long game. It's only about 6 hours, 4 chapters, so about an hour and a half per chapter. I highly recommend this game for anyone who loves history, who wants to know more about history, especially World War I. Valiant Hearts is a puzzle-based game that takes you across the Great War, aka World War I, through 4 different eyes. You have Frankie, the American. His backstory is, when he got married, the leader of the German force killed his wife, so now he's on a vengeance, so he joined the French army. The Frenchman Emile was drafted into the French army, whose daughter Marie is married to the German Karl, and Marie and Karl have a son named Victor. And then we've got Anna from Belgium, a woman who started off as a veterinarian, and then she became a nurse during the war, and she is in search of her father. And of course, we've got the German Karl. Karl now is married to the Frenchman Emile's daughter, Marie, but he was forced to go back to Germany right after the assassination of Ferdinand. He's now in the German army, so it's a little interesting twist, but Karl all the way through shows allegiance to Emile and obviously Marie and Victor. Emile the Frenchman, Karl the German, Anna the Belgian, and Frankie the American. So you've got people from all different backgrounds. They're fighting a war that they've been drafted into that they didn't really want to be in. Suffering, the harm, the good, the bad. And what's so good about this video game is it's a long 6-hour history lesson. Along the way during their travels, you get to pick up some artifacts like coins, dog tags, letters written by actual people during the war, actual pictures of things during the war, like a urine mask to save themselves from chlorine gas, or weapons, see injured people. This game has so many artifacts. Their lifestyle during the war, you see newspapers, you see French women writing letters to single men in the war to help them with their morale, and then their clothing as well. This game has a lot of historical facts that during the gameplay, and in addition to the storyline of Emile and Karl and Anna and Frankie, you are going through a history lesson of World War I. We have a really cute dog. Walt is I think he's a Doberman Pinscher. He's small, but he really will help you along the way. And the dog is excellent. Once you get the dog, the fun really begins, and he really helps you out. He's really cute. The gameplay is basically puzzle friendly. What I love about the puzzles is they're all different and unique to each character. You got Anna with the rhythmic card chases and the healing and the nursing, and then you've got Emile who has to hide all the time or kick someone's ass with a wooden spoon or dig without touching a landmine. Anna, who kind of reminds you of that Guitar Hero thing. You save people's lives by sawing a leg off, injecting them, but you do that by pressing a certain button or a certain sequence of buttons at a certain time. Frankie has the ability to snap barbed wire with his special tool. Emile, who basically was a cook at some point, so he has ability to dig through holes and hit people with a spoon, which is kind of silly. Of Karl, who funny because I just played it. Huh, what is his special ability? Despite Carl being in the German camp and then Frankie being in the French camp, Emile being in the French camp, Anna is kind of like the one that ties them all together. She ends up being everywhere right in the nick of time. There's a lot of camaraderie in this game. It's a heartfelt game. It's heavily French also, which I love because, as we know, I'm a francophile. Because I went to French school for a really, really, really long time, and je suis francophone, je parle français. So I have a special place there. But it's also nice that you see a lot of like European history, especially concerning the Brits and the Germans in the war, as well as obviously France. It also has the Bataille de la Somme, it has the Bataille de Verdun, it has Reims, the city, the Cathédrale de Reims. It has a lot, like the Saint-Mihiel. So you get a lot of things that you are familiar with, if you know World War. It's just so fun. Not only do you get artifacts or pictures, but you also get diaries of people that actually lived during World War I. Letters are all real. It's just very interesting, and it ties all things together. The storyline, which is obviously fictional, along with a lot of the real life things that happened, make this game. And the soundtrack is really good. Whenever you pick up an artifact, you have a nice little sound of sadness, sweet sorrow, playing Anna, and she running away in her taxi from the bad guys, the Can Can song, and a lot of Bach music. In case you guys didn't know, I play piano, so I like classical stuff. The things that you might have heard before, like the Bataille de Verdun, which is the Battle of Verdun, and then the Cathédrale de Reims, which is the cathedral in Reims. There's a lot of places that just hit close to me. It makes me like the game even more when I'm like, oh, I recognize that place. So every story, every motive is valid. Carl wants to get home to Victor and Marie, and Emile wants to get home to Victor and Marie, and there's letters going back and forth corresponding, and it takes forever. They don't know if they're alive or dead. Frankie, whose storyline I would say is the least interesting, is because he's just out there for vengeance. In the end, he ends up realizing that when he has a chance to kill and get his revenge, he realizes that at the end of the day, it's really not worth it. So he spares Von What's-His-Face's life. Anna, who is out there trying to save her father. If you're a Europhile, I would highly recommend it. If you love history, I would highly recommend it. If you're interested in World War I or have no idea what World War I is but want to get to know what it is all about, definitely play the game. I keep getting distracted. It's real images, it'll shock you. The one thing that bothered me, a lot of times they were supposed to die. A lot of times they just kept surviving and surviving and surviving and surviving. Except for the ending. The ending was really sad, but it was a really good ending. I think that it ended well, even though I feel like it had a happy ending and I expected a little more of somber ending. Yes, Emile dies. He gets shot, gets tired of the way the French commander treats everybody, so he hits the French commander, and the French commander dies. It's a spoon, mind you. So he gets executed. When Emile is talking over a story, he has a very British accent, but when he is talking in the game, he has a very French accent. So it's like, get it together, get it straight, get it right. So if you want to get cultured, or if you want to know more about history, or you forgot what World War I was like, or you want to know more of what World War I was like, this game is for you because it's not only interactive, it hits close to home, it veils the hardships of war, but it also reveals a lot. It sits through that fine line of really letting you see what happened in World War I in depth. It immerses you in it by this gameplay, but at the same time, you get to have fun with it. It's not a boring history lesson. It's actually quite a fascinating one. And the big bosses aren't really that hard at all. I'd say it's a pretty easy game. For anyone who is an amateur, novice, expert, you'll enjoy it for all different kinds of reasons. It's also eye-opening because you're thinking, dang, these guys had strategies of way back when, with kind of they're learning new ways to build weapons and camps, and how people survived and how people lived. It's insane. I learned more in 6 hours of this game than a semester in French school about World War I. Et j'adore ce jeu et je recommande à tout le monde. So yes, go play Valiant Hearts, The Great War. And if you played it, let me know what you think. Comment below and let me know. Click that thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel and tell a friend. And let me know what games you think I should play. Thanks for tuning in. Happy January.